SmackDown, April 10th, was somehow the worst episode on the road to WrestleMania 42 so far. Now, are we surprised though, or did you think this show was going to get better after what happened last week? Nah, not at all. McAfee or McAfee, whatever you want to call him at this point, pretty much saw what happened this past week and just said, hold my beer, I'm about to make you hate me more. And I guess it worked. Welcome to the tea drop. Strong brew, no soft behavior. We had one moment so brutal that the internet called it the best segment of the night. Out of the no possible options at that point when it came to SmackDown this week, they topping the supposed main event storyline. We had the internet go nuclear over what Pat McAfee did to a 20-year Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes storyline. And we had Sami Zayn put Lil Yachty music career on ice with a hell of a kick. So let's break this down. We go to the third moment of the night, which is Sami Zayn hell of a kick King Lil Yachty. Now look, I know Lil Yachty isn't a wrestler. I know he's a celebrity guest, but everyone, Sami Zayn did not care. Here's what happened. Trick Williams and Sami in a spot during their match. Well, it was a spot during Trick Williams' match. Trick Williams and Sami had a little promo before Trick Williams' match with Matt Cardona. And during that match, they had a spot. And during that, eventually, Lil Yachty tried to get slick at ringside and interfere with the little conversation, I guess, between Sami Zayn and Lil Yachty, to the point that Sami turned around and delivered a hell of a kick on him, straight to Lil Yachty's face. Yachty was not ready for it, that's for sure. And the internet was not ready for how hard that clip would hit, or that moment would hit. Within hours, memes, GIFs, elsewhere, clips everywhere, comments calling it the kick of the year, Little Boat ate that hell of a kick, or whatever they were saying. Even people who don't watch wrestling saw that clip. Now, here's the real question for everyone everyone should be asking. What exactly is the plan with Trick Williams and Lil Yachty going forward? Is he just going to be there for him at WrestleMania and that's it? Or is there more to this story? Because Sami Zayn has been a very consistent act over SmackDown for 3 years running at this point. So in what world is Trick Williams and a rapper from Atlanta supposed to slow him down? Now, the internet and everyone, all these fans are watching, and Sami Zayn's fan base does not play. So be very careful, WWE, when you treat Sami Zayn. Unless people are already tired of him, but I don't think so. We move to the second most viral moment for SmackDown. And you guys thought this was number one. No, it is not. How dare you guys. Pat McAfee takes the title away from Cody Rhodes. Now, number two, and this one hurts because we need to talk about what's happening to one of the most naturally compelling WrestleMania stories of the last decade. We've already talked about it ridiculously last week, so we can continue going about it. Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, 20 years of history, the mentor, the protege, the betrayal, the championship on the line. That story writes itself. You don't have to do anything except let those two men speak and let those two men cook. But instead, Pat McAfee physically got his hands on the WWE Undisputed title after the beatdown that both him and Randy Orton did. Even before all that, he posed, and even before he started posing with it and parading with it and all that, he announced that Dodge Ram, the official truck of WrestleMania 42, has agreed to buy down ticket prices, bring down or buy down, whatever you want to call it, ticket prices for the event. So now we're at 25% until this coming Monday Night Raw. He took CM Punk's pipe bomb from Monday and turned it into a corporate-sponsored PR sign on Friday in front of the same audience that was just fired up and about the ticket price issue to begin with. People on the internet, Reddit, X perfectly said it. 20 years of history, done. Personal promos, done. Randy Orton annoying everyone, done, I guess, at this point. Heated brawls, now all gone, because it's just Pat McAfee and Cody at this point. The internet's fed up with this story at this point, because what was going to be a great story, it's gone. The people who buy the tickets, the people who actually watch every week, having Randy Orton as a supporting character at this point to Pat McAfee, a punter turned broadcaster, heading into WrestleMania is one of the most baffling creative decisions WWE has made in years, and that's not saying something. Now, here's where I'll be fair at this point. If this is a work, hopefully it is, and it's a work to make Cody the ultimate underdog babyface because no one is supporting him at this point going into Mania, and maybe Orton eventually turns on McAfee, then this can be redeemed. But the execution right now, the internet is not buying it. None of the fans are buying it. And the WrestleMania 42 attendance number, only a few tickets distributed in 19,000 seat arena with 1 week to go. Tells you everything you need to know about how this storyline has landed. And sadly, this is not the viral moment. Because the viral number one moment belongs to Drew McIntyre handcuffing and whipping Jacob Fatu. Yeah, that's right. He whipped Jacob Fatu. This is number one. The moment that the YouTube comments agreed on, the Reddit threads agreed on, the moment that made a bunch of wrestling fans forget that Cody versus Orton was even happening at this point. Because it's either that or you take drugs to numb out the pain. Orton wasn't even Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu, the unsanctioned match that nobody was asking for, and everybody ended up wanting more of at this point. On SmackDown this past Friday, Drew McIntyre walked into the arena on a mission. He didn't wait for Jacob Fatu to come to him. He found him. The kind of moment that doesn't happen in the PG-13 era of WWE. Drew handcuffed Jacob Fatu to the ring ropes and whipped him with a belt. And I mean whipped. Like we are talking old school 1970s, 1980s type of whip that kids will probably tell on their parents if they even tried. This is some old school type of beating. And it just happened on national television on Friday. Let me say that again. He whipped him with a belt in front of the entire San Jose crowd. While Jacob Fatu, the Samoan werewolf, one of the most physically intimidating human beings on the SmackDown roster today, couldn't do anything about it. Where does this not become the most talked about clip of the week, besides the CM Punk one on Monday Night Raw? YouTube commented on this clip saying that this was the best part of the night. And this is what the unsanctioned match needs to be like. Brutal, explosive, insane. One fan put it perfectly. Roman versus Punk is not a thing anymore. To them, Cody versus Randy is not even a thing anymore. It's all about Drew versus Jacob and Brock versus Obafemi at this point. To the fans at this point, the mid-card feuds are outshining the main events in terms of pure investments. And that should be a wake-up call for creative. Drew McIntyre right now, he doesn't need a title to validate his presence. He is the show at this point. And Jacob Fatu is proving week after week after week that he belongs in the same conversation as the biggest names on the roster right now. WWE needs to start giving a chance to the younger roster. And this is a perfect example of why. And even with Obafemi, that's another example. WrestleMania 42, this might steal the whole night. This might be the match that steals a night for, I believe this is night 2. Now, let's talk about our honorable mention of the night. We have an honorable mention for this week's episode because we had to, because it was quite a shocking. Danhausen had his first match of his WWE career and defeated Kit Wilson. So before I close out, I have to give you this honorable mention of a segment that absolutely had no business being as entertaining as it was. Danhausen, Kit Wilson, The Miz, and the rest of the crowd was all over this most chaotic WWE in-ring debut in recent memory. Now, for those who weren't aware, Danhausen officially made his WWE debut back at Elimination Chamber earlier this year by emerging from a coffin inside a wooden box or whatever that has been shipped back and forth between Raw and SmackDown events, like a cursed Amazon package. Nick Aldis and his infinite SmackDown GM Wilson decided the best mentor for his situation was The Miz. Two men who are convinced the curse isn't real. April 10th was Danhausen's first actual in-ring match in WWE, and Kit Wilson walked out there with The Miz by his side, fully committed to the idea that curses do not exist, and this is at all, it's just a bit. The bell rings, Wilson pushes Danhausen's face, Danhausen hits a dropkick, goes to the outside, and then just wraps his arm around The Miz for a pose. Similar to that pose that you've seen people do throughout the years between Seth Rollins and I think one of the Rhea Ripley and so forth. Miz did a pose obviously thinking it was Kit Wilson. Miz absolutely had no idea what was happening. Wilson hit a flying elbow to break it up. Back in the ring, Wilson goes up to the top, points to the crowd, screams, "The curse is real." The curse, as he screams, "The curse isn't real." I apologize. Now, Danhausen looks at him, does the curse. Power goes directly behind the ring post. Wilson, startled, loses his footing and falls. Danhausen hits the big boot. 1, 2, 3. You get the win. Now, obviously, this wasn't a big storyline, but it was a great story that cheered up the crowd, I feel, at this point. What's going on, Chad? Much appreciated. Well, I hope you're doing well. Why isn't the comments popping up? Anyway, another segment that happened that many and I are going to talk about because it's a little too late was for Royce Keys finally showing up to WWE to do a match since his Royal Rumble debut. Why he hasn't done a match ever since then? Why wasn't he even at the Elimination Chamber to do something? I have no clue. It's very messed up that they just decided to bring him up now. Maybe it's obvious if they're doing this Andre the Giant Battle Royale, it is obvious that he's going to be part of it. Maybe he'll win that. He should win that at this point and maybe give him a boost towards post WrestleMania. I doubt it, but we'll see. So, SmackDown. WWE has gold in their hands at this point with Drew versus Jacob and Sami versus Trick Williams. And the main card doesn't matter at this point. We don't care about it. The problem, the company is spending the most time and energy on the main event feud, probably because everyone else all the big boys out there want it. And the fan base has largely checked out on that match because of Cody or Randy, but because of how it's being booked at this point. A week out from WrestleMania 42, the road to the shows of shows feels cold at this point, and that is not something that you want to be saying with 90,000 empty seats at this point, still waiting to be filled. The question I'm leaving in the comments for the people in the comments right now is, was SmackDown last stop before WrestleMania 42 a hit or miss before we head to Vegas? And should Drew and Jacob have a better hierarchy in the card for night 2? Drop it below. Let me know. Thanks for watching. And if the T hit right, hit the like button and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one.